talking about Aledo and Colleyville Heritage. Again, this is not quite the same Colleyville Heritage team without Sully Davis, but it is Josh McKinney. He knows how to win games. So yeah, Aledo, Colleyville Heritage. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Aledo, and I'm going to say this is going to go five. As you know, because you've been doing this for a while too, you get those coaches like Josh McKinney that are just so good, and they can make the playoffs, their team a lot better in the playoffs. I mean, they've taken them through non-district, then you get through district, and that's a guy who I respect and admire. And don't forget, he was the tutor and mentor for Bree Growth. She will tell you that she'll be the first to tell you that he taught her basically everything she knew. So obviously a lot of talent there. But I'm gonna go with Aledo. I think they're gonna squeak it out in five.
Yeah, I like Aledo too. I saw them the first game of the year against Keller at Keller, and they took down Keller in 4 sets. Kind of expected a little bit of a step down. They graduated some really good players, but Claire Gay, who, by the way, congratulations on her 600 victory. Uh,
Yes.
she's done a fantastic job with that team. Aledo is, I have it right here. They're the number one team in 5A, and they're 36-2.
Yep, that's right. That's
Awesome
right.
job, but yeah,
Own some really good wins. And of course, that's another story that's available on GM Sports Media. I did that one with Claire not too long ago. So
yeah. So I'm with you. I'll go with Aledo. Next up, we have Hebron and Plano East. And if you're familiar with 5-6A and 6-6A in the first
yeah.
round, usually it doesn't matter what sport, you're always going to seem to have one team that can contend, and they're done, one and done. But yeah, Hebron and Plano East. Who do you like?
I'll go with Plano East. I think Coach over there has a really good chemistry coming down the stretch. They play in certainly Hebron plays in a tough district, but I think Plano East the district is even tougher. I think they're ready to take it to the next level, and so I'm going to go with Hebron, Plano East over Hebron.
Yeah, Coach Perez over at Plano East doing a great job. Um, Got to look out for Simone Hurd, Georgia Tech bound for Plano East. She's like top 10, maybe top 5 in kills here in the area. I will say Hebron might be have a little more momentum there after taking down Flowermount in straight sets to clinch a co-title. Um, Cameron Cameron Mulligan, their setter, was just voted our player of the week. So,
Right.
and of course they have a good hitter as well, and Taylor Johnson, who was phenomenal as a freshman. This one is probably the toughest one for me, but I'll go with what you said. 6-6A I think is slightly better than 5-6A. You really with 5-6A you're talking about Flowermount and Hebron, and then sort of it's
Right.
kind of a drop off after that. You look at 6-6A with Plano West and Allen, even Plano High this year, and especially Prosper. You can't count out Prosper, but very tough district there. So I'll go Plano East, but I think it's going to go five.
Okay.
The next one in 6A, we have Richardson and Arlington Martin. Who do you like in that one?
I'm going to go with one of the guys who truly is one of the greatest fundamental coaches and gives his heart and soul and passion to the sport of volleyball. Eric Miracle. I think that, this is one of those years where the good guy really, wins it. Not saying they can't win it anyway, but I like Eric. We did the Pierce match at home. We broadcast that for Eric. They like to do that rival. That's a huge rivalry. That gym is packed. You can barely hear yourself talk in that kind of rivalry. He's really one of the good guys. He's the guy that cares a lot about his players, about their, academic achievements. He's the guy that says they're student athletes and not players. I love Eric Miracle. I'm picking Eric's team, the Richardson Eagles.
Yeah, Richardson and Martin, they're fairly familiar with each other in the play.
Right.
Honestly, if this any other year, the last 5 years, I might lean with Martin, but Martin is still good. Co district title in 8-6A, but definitely not as tough as years past. and then they came off with a 3-0 loss in the regular season finale. So they're hurting a little bit. But yeah, with Richardson, they're playing really well. He's got some young talent that have been outstanding. Mackenzie Ratcliffe is their
Yeah.
top hitter. She's committed to Old Dominion. Again, another kid who's I think top 10 in kills here in the area. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Coach Miracle is one of the great guys. Not just great coaches, but great guys. And so I'm going to lead with Richardson. I'm going to go with 4 sets for Richardson. All right, another 6A1 in Region 2. You have Wylie, who's coming off a 16-0 district championship, and they're taking on Rockwall Heath, who out of 10 6A nearly got that co-title in district. Came up second, but yeah, with Wylie and Rockwall Heath, what you got?
I'm gonna go straight up. I think Wylie is a heavy favorite, and I'm gonna stick with the heavy favorite again. Another district championship for Wylie.
Yeah, I like Wylie too. They've been playing really well, obviously, and they got some really good talent. Coach Butts, she has over, I think, 750 wins in her career. Um, but it's not too often that they've gone undefeated in district, so great accomplishment for her and that team. And yeah, I think 10-6A is slightly better than 9-6A, but I think Wylie has enough talent to go out there and get a playoff trophy. So I'm with you with Wylie. And then upset pick, this can be just really strictly a lower seeded team, a number 2 seed over number 1. I know there's a lot out there that really aren't upsets, but just for us, we'll go with the lower seeds. Just who was your upset pick of by district and why?
Well, and I wanted to stick with a DFW team, obviously, because this is who we cater to. Waxahachie, the Indians, are the lower seed against Midway, who won their district. Midway has had up and down as far as playoff talent. They've been to the state level one time that I'm aware of. And I just think that Waxahachie playing in that Duncanville district, they've got a lot of talent. Obviously, the new coach there has done a good job in building the program. And of course, this is obviously a situation where it's, let me see, is this D1? Yeah, 6A D1. And it's in the second bracket. So I'm going to pick Waxahachie again, sticking with the DFW team. I'm going to pick Waxahachie, who's the underdog to Midway. And I talked to Butch about this, and he said, yeah, he said, if you look at it on paper, you would pick Midway over Waxahachie. So I'm going to go with the Indians in an upset.
When we were talking before the show, we mentioned one of these teams, and I actually had 2 others in mind, but they're truly not upset picks. They're rather, I think, pretty easy wins. So I will not go with that. I'll go another one, and I think you agreed on it. But Frisco Reedy over Frisco Centennial. Reedy is that second seed out of District 12 5A, and Centennial is the first seed in 11 5A. I mean, it's a great matchup. I mean, with
Yes, it is.
Centennial, you have their talented setter and Manny Victorino.
Oh, love Maddie.
Uh, and so it's kind of a shame here that someone's gonna go home after the first round. But Reedy is in that tougher district with Highland Park and Wakeland, Lone Star as well. They have recent success going deep in playoffs. They went to state.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
my upset pick is Reedy over Centennial. All right, and now the game of the week, Mansfield and Keller. That's our final pick. On paper, Mansfield versus Keller is the best game in the area. It's the only 6A game locally to feature 2 teams with 30-plus wins, and their 73 wins combined are most for any bi-district matchup in the Metroplex. But when the Tigers and Indians meet on the court, don't be shocked if one team is strongly favored over the other. And no, it's not the team with the better record. Yeah, we owe Julie Price and Mansfield their flowers. After missing the big dance last season, primarily due to injury, the Tigers are 43-1, capped with an undefeated 3-6A championship. They have the second best record in the area, only behind undefeated Byron Nelson. And their only loss came in mid-August to 5A number 1 Aledo at the Granbury.
Mm-hmm.
but they did beat Aledo the next day in the tourney final. But Keller has the much tougher schedule, which includes playing Byron Nelson twice in one of the best districts in Texas, 4-6A. The Indians are just one of 3 teams all year to take a set off the Bobcats. And they have really good playoff success recently with back-to-back appearances at state and the regional final in 2024. So Chuck, Mansfield versus Keller, who you got and why?
I'm going to let you go first on this one, pal. I've gone first on everything else. This is your moment to shine.
Yeah, you know what? I was trying to find a way to really pick Mansfield. I really did. The phenomenal job from Coach Price. Again, just a year ago, missing the playoffs, and now 43 wins out of 44 matches. You know, we're familiar with Coach Price. She has a lot of playoff success, won back-to-back with Coppell in the early 2010s, had success there with Lake Travis with a state title. But man, this bracket, like you mentioned earlier, is just a gauntlet, 6A D1, and it's a real shame to have 2 teams like this who, you know, couldn't make the regional final, and they'll be one and done. But I think the stronger schedule for Keller will push them over the top. You know, Mansfield's a young team, and so some of those girls don't have that playoff experience just yet. They're led by MC Crutcher, who, thank goodness, we have 3 more years with her. She's 6'1" outside and like one of the top 20-29s in the country. So she's going to be really good for a long time. But I think the experience for Keller, Anna Flores, who we like a lot, there's a case, we can make a case that Anna's the second best setter in the area behind Sophie Peterson. But triple double threat, she leads the area in triple doubles. I think she's up to 8 or 9, which is really that part of her game has really taken off. I don't even remember if she had a triple double last year, but yeah, I think that experience will push Keller. I got the Indians over Mansfield.
Well, you know, we talked about Danielle Spivey now, and of course, you know, had the kid recently. You know, congrats to her and her family, and of course, Jan to have another grandchild with Bree putting out 2 more eventually on the way. So it's going to be a great Christmas around the Barker clan. But you know, I think Danielle is one of the most underrated coaches in all of high school volleyball, and that includes the country. She got him there in 2021. Everybody, and I admit, I'm one of the first guys to say, Keller, how is Keller here, kind of thing, you know, and then found out obviously that Danny was the coach, and she's just got an incredible, consistent program. And believe me, there is nobody that hates to lose to her sister more than she does to Bree. But you know, she's taking those experiences. Danielle's the kind of coach, she takes those experiences, relates it to the kids. And, you know, you talked about it, we talk about it ad nauseum, how tough that district is, but how good it is for them in the playoffs. You know, we haven't talked about the other playoff team out of that district, Northwest, who could go on a run because they play such great competition, you know, and Jennifer Chandler has such great talent at Northwest and built that program into a consistent winning program. So I just think Anna Flores, I agree with you, could be the second best setter in all the DFW area. And that's saying a lot. There's a ton of setter talent in this area. No question. I'll take our setters and our liberos, in DFW, put them up against anybody in the state, any area. In fact, I'll put them up against the entire rest of the state, and we come out on top, no question. So, but as far as this match goes, you know, again, you mentioned, I was going to mention, so you beat me to it. Julie Green coached that 50-0 Lake Travis team to the state championship back in the day. But yeah, it's going to go 5. I have no doubt. I'd be stunned if anybody swept this and then somebody took it in 4. This is going to go 5. It's going to be a great match, and I'm going to go with you. You know, of course, I had my pick already. We'd already kind of exchanged. There was no doubt I was going to pick Danielle and Keller anyway. So, but what a great matchup. As you said, it's really a shame for both teams. This is a first round match, and keep this away from the people at UIL. There's not one coach not one volleyball coach I talked to last year that liked Division I, Division II. None of them.
Yeah, this is definitely the effect of that D1, D2 split.
Yeah.
Because this is not a first round matchup, but
No,
we are.
no.
So, I gotta get